Alright, here we are. We got my Cimarron American, and we're going to do some black powder testing on it today. I've got a bunch of black powder rounds, and we are going to shoot until it binds. So the Smith & Wesson American, if you watch my other videos, you know kind of the struggles I've had with it. Although when I did finally get out to the range, it did shoot black powder fairly well with Old Enfield and some GoX. And anyway, we got all GoX loads today, so that's going to test it for sure. And my Schofield GoX binds up very quickly. Show you what I got here. These are fairly fresh hand loads. I made them a couple weeks ago. I've got the Lyman 184 bullet and some Starline brass with a Winchester primer. Over 23 grains of GoX 3F. And then I also have, I never can remember the number of this bullet. I'll post it up on there if I remember, but it's an old Lyman, all a one-piece handle and mold. I want to say it's a 253 bullet or 153 or something like that. Anyway, I got it seated out past the first lube groove, and it has a pretty close to overall length of the 184 bullet, also over 23 grains of GoX. I'm going to shoot 6 rounds of the 184, and I'll try to call off the chronograph results, and then I'll shoot 6 rounds of the other bullet, doing the same, and we'll go from there. We'll see how many we can get before the binding starts. All right, here we go. (691 feet per second). It's a little bit lower than last time I shot. I was running about mid 730 to 750. (717). (715). (690). (692). And 661. A little bit lower than I was expecting, but not too far off the mark. The group looks good. Now let's shoot some of the other load. If I remember right, the last time I shot this load, it shot a little better than the 184 load, accuracy-wise. All right. Alright, sorry I had to pause there for a second. I want to change my chronograph over to the next string for this different load. 667. 693. 720. 712. 744. And 720. All right, that's 12 rounds so far. Let's go take a look at our groups real quick before we continue shooting. I have a feeling we're going to start binding here pretty quick already with this GoX. But this is the 184 bullet group. I can say I'm very happy with that. And I was a little less supported with the 153 or 253 or whatever it is, but also happy with that group. Velocities are, a little bit lower than I expected. But last time I was out here shooting it, I was using Old Ensford, and it was quite a bit warmer. I don't know if that made much difference. It's a little bit cool today. But anyway, let's continue on with shooting here. Get my camera back in the rest. And I'll load back up. I'm trying to do an unbroken video since this is, kind of a test to see how many rounds I can get. But anyway, we'll go ahead and I'm just going to continue shooting at this point and see how many I get before I start binding. So far we've got 12 rounds through the gun. Going back to the 184 bullet, I'm not going to chronograph these at all. I'm just going to shoot. It's still cocked pretty easily. Ah, there we go. It already bound up. Although that might be a high primer, because it does feel pretty good otherwise. One thing I have noticed, if I have a little bit of a high primer on this gun, there's not a lot of clearance in there, and it does bind that way also. Yeah, see, I can still cock it now. Yeah, we're good. Okay. That one bound a little bit. That was 18 rounds. And the cylinder still feels pretty free. I don't know where the, it still cycles good without any ammo in it. We're gonna keep going. I might have had just some high primers in there. I tried to check all these before I, brought them out, make sure the primers were seated properly, because been having an issue with the 44 Russian brass. But let's shoot again here. So that's 18 rounds. one is that little bit bound. Okay. So that's 24. I'm going to spin the cylinder a little bit. It did feel like it was starting to bind a little bit, but we'll just spin the cylinder like that and see how far we can get with it. Yeah, it's binding up. Alright, so it looks like around 24 rounds is where this particular model started to bind up a little bit. There were some hints of it before that, but severe binding did not start until around 23, 24 rounds. With the old Ensford, last time I was out here, I know I got over 35 to 40 rounds out of it before it started binding. So I'm not unhappy with that, and I think if old Ensford becomes available again, I'm buying that. And I'll probably be loading these with old Ensford just because I get more shots out of it. Let's try some smokeless rounds. I'm going to pause the camera for a minute and we'll try some smokeless rounds with some unique loads and see what happens. Alright, we're going to try some smokeless rounds after shooting a bunch of black powder through the American. They're the looks like they're a mixture of the I think it's the 253 Lyman bullet and the 184 Lyman bullet with 4.7 grains of unique. I'll shoot the 184 bullet first. All right. I'll go for the couple bottom targets on the top here. Here we go. $733. $731. $722. $735. $748. And $716. Pretty consistent. I haven't had a whole lot of luck with consistency and unique unless I really push the powder chargers up, at least in 45 Colt. Pretty happy with that. That was the 184 bullet. Now we're going to do the, I think it's the 253 bullet. And I still haven't done anything with the gun since shooting black powder. Just spun the cylinder a little bit and it freed it up. It's been shooting pretty good. Let me reset my chronograph here to the different load. All right, here we go. 783. 767. 766. So this one is a hair bit faster, and the bullets are seated above the top lube groove, so they are seated a little bit deeper. That's probably where we're picking up that extra velocity with the same charge, because the bullet weighs about the same. $787. 769. And 757. Let's go take a look at those groups. I know I'm going to be happy with that second one for sure. Like I stated in all my videos, I'm not shooting at a really long distance. Anyway, that's the 184 bullet, which, you know, that's okay. Whatever. But the 253 bullet, or whatever it is, that shot really good. It is a little bit, like I said, I don't know if you can hear what I'm talking when I'm shooting, but the bullet is seated a little bit deeper on the 253 bullet, so I picked up a little bit of velocity, and the accuracy was better too. Of course, that could just be me too. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, there it is, unique load.